All right, love dare, day 27. Love encourages. Man. Okay, that's a great start today. God, guard my soul and deliver me. Do not let me be ashamed, for I take refuge in you. Psalms 25. Marriage has a way of altering our vision. We go in
The
expecting
heck
our
is
mate.
funny? It's encouraging.
I was just talking about making sure that my eyes were good before we started, and you're like, your eyes are great.
Yeah. Love day challenge.
Yeah, that was my first mess up. Take one. We go into expecting our mate to fulfill our hopes and make us happy, but this is an impossible order to fill. So our unrealistic expectations breed disappointment. The higher your expectations, the more likely your spouse will fail and cause you frustration. If a wife always expects her husband to be on time, read her mind and understand all her needs. If he always expects her to look radiant, blindly support his decisions, and stay emotionally ready for sex, both of them will set each other up for daily failure. They will likely live most of their married lives in constant disappointment. I feel like we've experienced this before. I'm still working on my mind reading abilities. We're getting there. But if they are realistic enough to understand that their spouse is human, hey, occasionally forgetful and sometimes weak and thoughtless,
Oh, you're weak.
yeah, that's what they said on one of my videos, they'll be more delighted when their mate is responsible, loving, and kind. Divorce is nearly inevitable when people refuse to allow their spouses to be human. That's right, we are indeed
That's
human.
true.
So make a transition in your thinking. Choose to live by encouragement rather than expectations. Don't expect nothing.
Remember when you said that in the bed?
Oh boy. The way your spouse has been for the last 10 years is probably what he or she will be like in the future, apart from your loving encouragement and an intervention from God. That's why love puts the focus on personal responsibility and improving ourselves rather than on demanding more from others. Don't demand nothing.
I think we got better.
Keep working on yourself. I'm telling myself that.
Mm.
Jesus painted a picture of this when he said, how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, and behold, the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly and take the speck out of your brother's eye. Does your spouse feel like they're living with a speck inspector? That's an
I've
interest.
never heard.
That's an interesting term. Don't inspect no specs. All right. Are they routinely on edge, fearful, and not living up to your expectations? Would they say they spend most days sensing more of your disapproval than your acceptance? Perhaps you'd respond by saying that the problem is not with you, but with them. If they really do come up short in a lot of areas, why is that your fault? As far as you're concerned, it takes both of you doing everything you can for your marriage to work. Your mate may think you're overly critical, but you feel the issues you bring up are legitimate. You're not saying you're perfect, but it seems like you should be able to point out genuine problem areas, right? The problem with this mentality is that people are able to respond to criticism
With joyful
with joyful
inspiration.
inspirations.
You want me to finish since you can't see?
No, I'm good. When I was reading it, said that few, when it seems clear to your spouse that you're unhappy with them, whether by direct confrontation or silent treatment, it's hard for them not to feel deflated instead of motivated. After all, unlike any other friendship, your relationship began with both of you willingly bending over backwards to please the other. You never expected to reach the point where you think nearly everything they do is wrong, and you're struggling at times with even liking this person. When hopes are daily doused with cold reality, your natural reaction is to communicate ongoing frustrations with them. But sadly, rather than this making them want to correct things, your disapproval makes them want to walk away or dig in deeper. Love is too smart for that. Instead of putting your mate in a position to rebel, love says to give them the grace and room to be themselves, even if you're the goal-oriented type who places high demands on yourself. Love calls you to lead by example, but not to force those same standards on your mate's performance. Marriage is a relationship to be enjoyed and savored along the way. It's unique friendship designed by God Himself, where two people live together in flawed imperfection, yet deal with it by encouraging and building, not by exhausting and belittling. I know one thing: the more that I'm pushed, the less I want to do things. Like, it's just naturally, I think many people might be like that. The Bible says, encourage the exhausted and strengthen the feeble in Isaiah. Encourage one another and build up one another. Encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with everyone. 1 Thessalonians. Being patient with everyone. That's a challenge right there. All right. Don't you want married life to be a place where you can enjoy free expression of who you are, growing within a safe environment that encourages you even when you fail? Your spouse does too, and your love gives them that privilege. If your wife or husband has told you on more than one occasion that you make them feel beaten down and defeated, then you need to take those words to heart. You could either be a critical anchor holding them back or a complimentary wing helping them soar. Being with you should recharge them and lower their stress level, not drain them and wear them out. God is not done with your spouse yet, so let Him work. Stop expecting your mate to understand all your thinking, desire all your wanting, and accomplish all your hoping. Okay? As much as they may wish they could, they can't. Instead, let them be inspired by your appreciation. Let them be empowered by your sincere prayers and your strategic praise. Focus on
I said that yesterday. Praise me, baby.
Focus on their strengths and point out what they are getting right. Let your words lift them to a new height. Then the person they're created by God to be may emerge with a new confidence and with a love that inspires you for years to come. Today's dare: eliminate the poison of unrealistic expectations in your home. Think of one or two areas where your spouse has told you that you're expecting too much, and tell them you're sorry for being so hard on them about it. Praise them for something positive and assure them of your unconditional love. Okay. When you place high expectations on your spouse that don't feel internally motivated to attain, what does that tell you about yourself? What are some better ways to deal with these disconnects? What things has your spouse recently done well that you can point out and thank them for?
I think we got better with that, of really helping each other. It's less calm. We lift each other's burdens.
I think for me, when it comes to the help thing, I kind of push a little hard on that. I'm trying to get a little better with that one. Other than that, like things that you've done well, like I believe that, like, this business that you're doing and getting into the soaps and making the candles and all the stuff that we're starting to get into is something.
And oils.
The entrepreneurship and the motivation and all that is like things that you're currently doing extremely excessively well.
Why, thank you.
Man.